Hey guys, let me move this out of the way. Oof. Right, so just about to have breakfast, something to eat. Yeah, so today I'm working on editing and putting together and uploading the Bride in the Park video. It's taken me a few days to recover from Pride in the Park, but so the video's a bit late, but I'm trying to manage my time a bit better and trying not to get stuck in a major hyper focus, because that was what was happening a lot when I was trying to make content. I would get stuck in a hyper focus, just messing around, playing with video editing stuff and everything, and then trying to come up with ideas on what content to make and stuff. During these episodes of extreme hyperfocus, I would forget that I need to eat, I need to use the bathroom, I need to sleep. I could go days just sat at my computer working on something, without eating, sleeping, drinking, pooping. Yeah, and it's not very healthy. So I'm trying to manage my time and like do a couple of minutes of the editing, then take a little break, and then do a couple more minutes and stuff. So at the moment I'm having a little break. I've uploaded all of my footage to my computer, ready to edit in a minute, and I'll get started on that in a few minutes. But first I've got to eat something. So I'm taking a break after doing all the downloading and watching all the videos to see which ones I want to use and which ones I want to scrap and stuff. Yeah, so, and I am having a bite to eat. So it is safety food again, kind of. So waffles is one of my safety foods. And baked beans. I really like baked beans. Sometimes I struggle with them though, because it is a wet food. And texturally, sometimes I struggle with wet, sloppy foods. But I do love baked beans when I feel like I'm able to eat them. So I have my food on separate plates, in separate dishes like this, because at the moment wet food can't touch dry food, because if wet food touches dry food, I cannot eat it. It will make me feel ill. It will cause my sensory issues around food to flare up, and then that could jeopardize my eating for a couple of days. That could put me off food for a couple of days, or entirely. So I will starve myself for a few days just because my baked beans touch my waffles, So separate. Keep them separate. We have to keep them separate. It's a bit mad, but that's how autism eating issues work, really. You don't have, it's not like I've decided, I don't want to eat it when it's soggy. It's my brain decides for me, because I'm like, I love this food, it looks delicious, I want to eat it, but my brain's like, no, we're not going to eat it because the wet's touching the dry and yuck. So it's sort of, I've got at the moment where I've been struggling with food and eating and my appetite and everything like that, and I've lost a lot of weight because of it. And I've been getting quite ill because of it. I'm trying to manage my eating a little better. So I'm doing smaller portions, like toddler sized portions sometimes, but I'm doing that often. So with the smaller portions, it's less chance of me getting overwhelmed by the amount of food that is on my plate, because that regularly happens. I do get overwhelmed with the food. And then it also stops me from getting bored of that food. And yes, that can happen. In a minute or so, I could get bored of these waffles and my brain goes, yuck, we don't want to eat these no more. We're bored of this flavour. We're bored of this texture. And I will not be able to eat it. If I try to eat when I'm in that overwhelmed kind of state with the food, I start to choke and gag and I will throw up. So I've got to try and reduce the amount of food on my plate so it reduces the risk of me getting overwhelmed or bored by that food. So then, yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's how it works, and it sometimes it is almost like a full-time job, with overtime as well, trying to manage my eating and stuff, because obviously if you don't eat, that can affect your heart as well and your blood pressure and stuff like that. And I already have heart issues and blood pressure issues and everything, so yeah, it's not very good me not eating. So, and I'm well aware some people are probably like, hang on a minute, you don't like wet food touching dry food, why are you dipping the dry food in the wet food? I've asked myself that same question. I'm not entirely sure why I can dip it in the wet food, but I can't have it on the plate with, I can't have the wet food on the plate with the dry food, but I can dip the dry food in the wet food. I'm not sure why. I think it's like with food, if it's sat on a plate for a few minutes, dry food's on a plate for a few minutes with wet food and they're touching, then I guess it might be something to do with the wet food. The moisture has longer to soak in to the dry food, and that causes more sogginess and more of a texture problem. But if you just quickly dip it in the food and dip the dry in the wet and eat it quickly, you don't get that whole it's soaking in. And am I making sense? I'm probably not. Do you know why? Because this food issue doesn't always make sense to me, and I think that's true with a lot of autistics who struggle with food. I think they get confused as to, okay, why can't I eat this food? Why will my brain not allow me to eat this food? But I think it is like just the textural thing, and yeah, but this works for me, I can eat like this, keep it separate, and just eat like this, and this works for me. Hopefully I'll be able to eat all of these waffles. I have like 4 of them. Usually I would only do 2, but I'm really hungry today, so I thought I'll do 4 and hopefully I'll be okay. And then roughly just under half a tin of beans, which usually I can manage okay. Sometimes I struggle to finish all of the beans, but yeah, I should be able to. I'm really hungry today, but then that doesn't matter, I can be really hungry but still food just won't interest me. Just food just seems disgusting to me, you know. But yeah, so I'm going to finish this food. Hopefully I can finish it, and then get back to the video editing. But I just thought I'd do a quick video and share a bit about my eating issues, as I'm trying to unmask and be more open and honest about it, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.